Okay, so I was doing some paper piecing. Actually, you know the Bernina Sugary Dew Quilt Along. They have row 3, I believe it is, that they're doing as their second row. It's a mystery quilt, and they're using freezer paper piecing. And I've done this before and not really loved it, but then I really just decided that I was going to try to love it. And of course I'm doing something completely different than they're doing, and just using their technique for the project I'm on. One of the things that they're doing is this freezer paper piecing, and you can see that after a long time, I'm hoping you can see all that lint, and it stops sticking so well. This one would probably still stick a little bit more, but I found that after doing, 30 of these, you get into it, and it gets a little annoying when it starts coming off too easily. And rather than just throwing it away and getting a new one, although I found that if you leave your iron on them they will burn, then you will need a new one. I have a trick that I use. I adapted it from using like the sticky mats for our Cricut cutters or our scanning cuts or whatever it is you use. And what this is, I hate using these, I know these are super bad. These are baby wipes. This one's obviously been used several times. And like I said, they're atrocious. Do not flush these. It's a non-woven, so it's these little tiny fibers that just love, you can sort of see the fraying there. They just love to stick back together. So if you put these into your septic or into a sewer, they'll get chopped apart, but then they come back together, incorporating all that other lovely stuff that's down there. As you can see in this case, I use it to clean my cutting mat. It picks up fibers and it just doesn't want to let them go. It's like Velcro. So anyways, I keep them, they dry out, and I simply take a little water, or I'll just do it this way, dump it in and just get it damp. You don't want it dripping wet, you just want it damp so that it helps pick up the fibers. Pick a little spot, put it over the end of your finger like so, and now I need a little more water than that. And you just swirl it around. And your paper will not come back to 100% perfect, but it will come back so that you can use it 50, 100 until you cut it, until you're done. I have done 40, 50 quilt pieces by simply doing this to the pattern a few times instead of having to keep making and throwing away and it's really quick, so you can see why I prefer to do this than sit there and trace a new one. So, and like I said, you really don't need it perfect, and it just takes a few seconds for it to, you can see this is, as you saw, like I had picked a clean spot, so that's all of the fibers that it just picked up off of my now clean. And you can either wait for it to dry, or you can just go ahead and iron, which I will do right now. Okay, ignore my mess, I'm putting away some Christmas things. And so, here it is, I'm just going to iron on it. It's still a little bit damp, but that's okay. And I like to just press it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I had already pressed it for 5. I usually count to 15. Just enough for it to stick. I'll flip it over, and then I'll press it for real from the back side, being careful not to press the piece that's not. If I go over a little, it sticks to the ironing board. It comes right off. It doesn't really matter. And you can see here, it's stuck as if, just as good as it did at the beginning. So I'll restick that, and we're good to go.